Julian here today. I'm going to be talking to you about why sample packs don't matter. This is something that is really argued about in our community, and I want to settle the score once and for all. You know, a lot of people believe kind of some false stuff about this, to be honest, and I think by giving you the perspective of someone like myself who really understands production and understands what goes into actually making a good track, I think you'll see it really doesn't matter. As always, check out my sample packs at the top of the description, as well as my ghost production, custom tutorials, track finishing, all that. I'd love to help you guys out with some stuff, and let's dive in. So, the first reason why sample packs don't matter, and the first point I want to talk about is you still have to make a great track around it. You know, even if you took the best sample pack with the best drums and the best, even like literally loops for everything, like everything is just a loop from a sample pack or a construction kit or whatever, you would still have to like make that into a good track where, you know, for example, like it doesn't matter how good your kick is if you lose all the energy 3 minutes into the track, you know? And that's something deeper than just having like good samples. I mean, good samples obviously will help get you there sooner. Maybe it'll give you a better foundation to stand on when it comes to making a really good track. But at the end of the day, like the things that make a track great, you know, good sounds are one very important part of that. But if you only have good sounds, there's a lot more. Even if it's like loops, like even if you're not doing any MIDI, you're just doing like straight loops, you can still mess that up pretty easily if you don't know what you're doing. And yeah, I think there's just a lot more personal agency to that people don't really talk about when they talk about using samples. And especially if you're just using like a kick sample or something like that. I mean, dude, like, you know, loops are one thing, but, you know, if you're going to actually program that in, I mean, it's just something to start with to make that great track. So the other thing here is that kind of goes with that too, is like 90% of the people listening to your music they can't even comprehend what a sample pack is or how production works or whatever. I mean, unless you're making music that's kind of like very producer focused, you know, most people that just listen to techno, for example, probably don't really understand like, oh yeah, this is like a kick from a sample pack or whatever. And if you tried to explain it to them, they would just think that you were crazy for trying to explain, oh, this guy did this and this and this. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, it's not, you know, most people aren't producers. And if you're making music from that mindset of like, oh, I can't use samples, I can't use loops because everybody's going to know, you're making music for a very small part of who the actual audience will be or even could be, you know, because you got to think bigger than that. And again, like, I think most people, they don't even want to hear you explain like what a sample pack is or how that works if they're not producers. So the next thing here is that, you know, when you use samples, you can create something sonically better, like a lot faster. Like, you know, when you're working with trying to make stuff from scratch, and let's say you have this rule in your head, like, oh, every time I make a track, I have to make the kick from scratch, and the hi-hat has to be synthesized. I mean, you can't really, like, that's going to take a long time to get all those things together. You can do that if you want to, for sure, but, like, that's really going to take a long time, and at the end of the day, like, I think the best thing of producing is being able to get an idea going quickly, and being able to do that also, like, in a recreatable way, because, you know, if you always have to be every single thing from scratch, like, have you ever met somebody that works that way, that, like, really actually consistently is able to put out music? No, because it's just not, I mean, it's just not how it works. Like, you got to use a kick sample at some point. You got to use, because again, like, you have to be an artist, you have to be able to make multiple tracks. You can't have every single track be this mountain of like, oh, I have to spend 5 days making a kick from scratch in Serum and tweaking the transient. Oh, and then like, you know, it's just not like, it's not productive also, because like you could be doing a lot more with that time. And I just think when you work with samples, it's really going to help you get somewhere a lot faster. And even then, maybe you could start with the samples and then go and synthesize stuff if you want. But just really having those samples will save you a lot of strain and heartbreak, and most importantly, creative energy, because we all only have a certain amount of creative energy. I mean, even the person with the most energy in the world has a certain amount where they will just burn out, right? So save that and use some samples. And then the last thing here that really goes with that, what I just said too, is like the most important thing that we're all forgetting when we argue about this is music is about having fun. Making music is like just about having a good time and doing what you love and making something that you love. And, you know, maybe you don't love the process of making a kick from scratch in Serum. I don't blame you. I don't like that either. But at the same time, like, you can't hate on anybody and say, oh, you're having fun the wrong way. Like, how are you going to do that? Like, let's just, like, let everybody do what they're going to do, have a good time making music, and if you want to synthesize every sound from scratch, cool. Don't argue with people on Reddit about it, though, or in the comments of this video or something, because, again, it's just arbitrary. You can't, there's no, in anything that you do, you can't criticize anybody for the way they have fun. Like, oh, dude, you're having fun wrong. Who has ever said that and been right? Like, you just can't do that. And music is about having fun. You got to make what you love, and you have to really, like, love the process. And the truth is, a lot of people love the process of working with samples. Not to mention, you know, you might not love making a kick from scratch in Serum, okay? But maybe you love, you know, taking a kick loop and then putting multi-band distortion on it and tweaking it and splitting it into multiple layers. And you never would have done that if you said, oh, no, I can't ever touch a sample pack. You know, I have to just everything from scratch in Serum. I mean, that's not fun. Like, I don't even think the people that, like, do it that way are having a lot of fun, if I'm being honest. Like, and I think music, if you kill the part of music that's having fun, I don't know what to tell you, boy. Like, that is what it's all about, and you need to hold on to that for as long as you can, because if you think you're gonna make it and you're gonna be doing this thing that you don't like and that's not very fun anymore because you have all these parameters you have to live up to, good luck. I mean, that never ends well, you know? So you gotta make your process fun, and that's why using sample packs doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's just about having fun. Can't criticize anybody else for having fun their way. And yeah, so I want to say thanks for sticking around to the end, guys, and watching this video. You know, I really want to settle this. I've been reading about this debate for years. This was like the first day I ever hopped on the internet trying to learn about production. There was something about this, and ever since then, I've just always wanted to, like, say, like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong. And especially if you can tweak the samples or make a really beautiful track around them, nothing wrong with it. Just have fun your way, make music, and do what you gotta do. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can grab all my sample packs at the top of the description. They're all really accessible prices, affordable, so that you can get started today making your best music with the highest quality samples. You can also check out my custom tutorial lessons and my ghost productions and track finishing. Link for that's at the top of the description. Thanks for the support, guys. I'll see you tomorrow with another video.